Please welcome the phenomenal author, Krystal White. First of all, thank you so much, Krystal, for being here. It means the world to me that I'm getting the opportunity to talk to you because, oh my God, I'm a huge fan of yours and I've been trying to get in touch with you for so long. It's an honor. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I'm sorry that it took so long for me to get back to you. It's been crazy.
Oh, it's all right. It's been worth it. Okay. As I told you, I have a bunch of questions for you. Do you mind answering them?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Okay, my first question. What has influenced you the most as a writer?
I would honestly say, as an avid reader myself, just as I was reading stories, I just kept, imagining the stories. And I, at some point, found myself kind of like creating my own version of the books as I was reading them. So I came to the realization at some point, I'm like, you know what? I want to give it a shot. I want to be able to start writing my own stories as well, like bring my own characters to life. So just reading, that's really what influenced me into writing the most, honestly.
Okay, my next question. Do you like audiobooks, physical books, or ebooks better, and why?
I honestly don't really have a preference between the three. I think they're all great, and depending on where I am, I may gravitate towards one over the other. So for instance, if I'm stuck on traffic, I'll just listen to an audiobook to help me pass the time. If I am sitting in an office, I would rather do ebooks than paperbacks, because sometimes people can be judgmental, when they see the cover and they look at you like, oh, what is this lady doing reading this book here? So I like the privacy, right, that ebooks offer. And then as far as physical books, I love them because I could take notes, I could highlight it. Like there's other stuff that I could do with the actual physical book that I feel that I cannot do with the other two formats.
True. Okay, my next question. Something I guess most of your readers want to know. What behind the scenes tidbit in your life would probably surprise your readers the most?
I would say most of the people close to me have no idea I write books.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I am
weird?
pretty close-lipped about it with like close friends and family for whatever reason.
Well, it's weird sometimes when you're talking to a person and they don't even know you're a writer. It's a whole different side of you.
It is. It honestly is. I mean, I write under a pen name, so it's kind of like, and again, I'm not judging anybody. Everybody does this whichever way they feel, but I feel like I chose a pen name because I want to be able to keep, myself separate from my books, if that makes sense. So if I just start telling everybody that I'm doing this, in my mind, I don't see the point of writing as a separate entity.
All right.
Plus, I come from a pretty religious background, so I don't want the judgment that comes from writing racy stories and things like that. So I like to keep that separate.
That's completely fine. Okay, my next question. What is the funniest typo you have ever written?
Honestly, I was writing, and then one of my proofreaders realized that I was mixing up characters from a different story into the story that I was writing at the time. I was getting my girls confused, so I kept writing and I was using the name of another one of my characters. So clearly I had both stories in my mind at that time, so I had to go back and redo the whole thing. It was pretty hysterical. Yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite time to write and why?
Honestly, just when inspiration hits. I am one of those that, because I write as a passion, it's not really what I do full time. I have like my work, my business that I do full time. So whenever an idea strikes, I just grab, one of the 2 million notebooks that I have everywhere and just furiously start taking down those ideas, because I don't want them to escape me, so that when I have a few hours to just sit down and grab my writing laptop and get to it, the idea is still there.
Okay, now, Crystal, I'm curious. Has it ever happened you're in the middle of a meeting and an idea for a new plot or maybe a book pops into your head? Then what do you do?
I literally just grab a piece of paper and I'm pretty good at writing without looking at the paper.
Okay.
So I could just continue paying attention to the meeting and just furiously write.
That's a nice talent. I wish I had it. I could never do that. If I ever
No,
deposit notes in the
yeah,
middle of a class, I'd end up
no,
getting caught.
nope. Even on if I'm typing on the keyboard, like I usually have, it's pretty funny, and I have it right now. Like I have my business laptop next to my writing laptop. I always keep them next to each other. So pretty much all day I'm going in between the two, because again, if anything comes up, I just switch from one to the other. So I could be like on a Zoom meeting for my business and literally be typing something on the laptop next to it, and nobody knows. So yeah, no, it comes pretty handy in that case, honestly.
Very true. Okay, my next question. How do you think being a writer has helped you as a person?
Honestly, it has helped me a lot. I think to stay sane in today's day and age, we all need something, right? That we're passionate about.
Yes.
And for me, honestly, that's writing. It's my safe haven in that case. Like after all the hours that I put into my business and kids and house and family and what have you, it's like the me time. Honestly, it's what I do. I love it.
Well, I could say I love reading your books, so it's kind of a two-way thing then.
Thank you. I mean, I have like a lot of stories that I have started, but I am pretty peculiar in that case, because if I do not feel passionate about reading it, I just don't publish it. It's like until I have the story finished enough that I feel like, yes, this is a story that I'm proud of, I just don't hit the publish button. And the other thing is, once I write it and read it, if the story doesn't flow, I hate stories that are too redundant or that take too long for you to get from point A to point B. So I'm sure you've noticed that, they're fast paced. Like you see the action
Yeah.
going like boom, boom, boom. That's just how I like reading stories. I don't like to read a story that takes 50 pages to get, again, from point A to point B. So I don't like writing stories that way either. So it has to flow
Right.
on a fast pace so that I don't get bored. Because I feel like if I get bored reading my story, then my readers are going to get bored too.
Yes. All right, my next question. What is your favorite word and why?
Honestly, I don't have one, but I'm pretty sure my proofreaders and editors will say that there are certain words that I tend to use a lot. None of them come to mind right now, but honestly, I'm sure it's got to be like one of those words that, as I'm typing, I don't realize that I repeat like over and over again, and they're always like saying, change this word, you've used it too many times. So I could always get back to you with regards to that, but I'm pretty sure there's like a couple of words like that without me realizing it. They're favorite ones that I used over and over again.
All right, my next question. If you didn't write, what would you do for work?
Like I said, writing is really what I do as a passion. It's not really what I do for work. So I'm not really sure. Like I've never really given it much thought as to what I would do.
If you could pick up a fictional thing, then what it would be?
What happened?
What I asked was that if you could pick up a fictional thing, like probably a ruler of some country or something like
Oh,
that, what would
got
you
it.
choose?
Yeah, no, you know what I would love to do? Be probably like a manga drawer or like an anime creator. Those would be cool. Something related to that. Yeah.
All right, my
If
next
I had
question.
the talent to draw, yeah, something like that would definitely do it for me.
Well, I
Yep.
actually haven't watched anime yet, so I wouldn't know much about it.
Never? No,
No.
I encourage you to. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty awesome, in my
What's your
opinion.
favorite one?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I've been watching anime for years, so probably for like, yeah, more than half of my life. So there's a lot of animes that I've watched over the years.
Oh my
I
God.
guess later on I would probably just chat with you and see what your preference in books are so that it would make it easier for me to suggest an anime that would make sense for you, because there's just like there's all sorts of books, it's the same with anime. There's all sorts of genres for it as well.
Oh, I'd love to know what you've got to recommend me. All right, your next question. Kind of weird to ask somebody, but I still ask. Do you Google yourself?
If I Google myself, honestly, at the beginning, I would just from time to time, just out of curiosity to see what would come up. I mean, I know there's an actress with the same name, and obviously there's a couple of other ladies with the same name, but not as of recent. No, it's been years since I've done it.
Well, I could say I have stopped doing it altogether. I tell this to everyone now because apparently share my name with a saint, and if you Google my name, this photo of that saint or something about the saint will always show up, and that's
See?
so irritating. I've stopped it. The saint is the reason I don't Google myself. Blame the saint.
Yep.
All right. My next question. What are your favorite novels?
Yeah. Favorite ones. Honestly, I have a lot that I like. I read a lot of like young adult romance stories. I tend to gravitate towards those, or those like, let's see. Over the years, I've read a lot of Tijan books. Have you ever read any of hers?
I've heard of Enemies. Have you read Enemies?
Yeah,
It
but
was-
I don't have like a particular author that is like it for me, that as soon as the book comes out, the next book comes out, like I run and grab it. Like, no. But yeah, I tend to read like from lots of different authors. It's like I read the description, and if it catches my attention, I just click on it, or I just pick it up and get it.
Okay, now please don't think I'm kind of crazy or something, but I'm obsessed with Cassandra Clare. Have you read Cassandra Clare? Any books by chance?
I do not. I don't think so. Let me see. Which one would you recommend? I'll pick that one up next.
I would recommend so many, but let's start with the basic one, City of Bones.
City of Bones. Okay.
That was just so
I
amazing.
have to get that one, and then next time we chat, we'll just talk about it.
We will. I love to. All right. What books are you currently reading?
Actually, it's funny because I'm rereading a few of my stories that I have out there, only because I'm getting ready to do paperbacks and audiobooks. So
Right.
I'm rereading my stories just to decide the order for the audiobooks, and then just auditioning different audiobook narrators and things of that nature. So at the moment, that's really what I'm focusing on.
Okay, now this one's kind of cool. If you could be a supernatural creature, which one would it be?
Ooh, I have. I mean, I have a preference for shifters. I mean, you read Alpha Queen, you know, I like shifter
Yeah, I
stories.
love
So
shifters. Which
I
one's
would
your
have to
favorite?
say, yeah. I mean, I would love to be a shifter, honestly.
Okay, now
Maybe
look,
a
if we,
lioness or a wolf or a bear. Probably one of those
yeah.
three.
Do you like Raven or like if you were to pick only Raven or Valentina, who would you pick? Like if
Well,
you were to pick one.
yeah, no, I mean, I would have to be Valentina, you know. It's like if you notice, like I always write pretty much from the girl's point of view. So I would have to go with my girl. I mean, I think she's awesome. So yeah, I would choose to be her.
Is there any book coming out from Raven's point of view? Because oh, like I love Raven.
I mean, Raven is awesome. Don't get me wrong. He's awesome. That would be a great segue, honestly, for the King of Alphas series, just to have something showing straight from his perspective. Because, you know, it's like in a few chapters here or there throughout the stories, you do get his point of view, um,
Hmm.
especially on book 3. But like a full book completely done from his point of view, like, no, there isn't one out there yet.
Well, I really hope it comes out anyway. All right. My next question. If you could time travel, would you like to visit the past or the future?
I mean, that's a great question, and there's pros and cons to visiting either one. But I honestly think the past probably, and make some changes for the better, both on humanity and myself.
What if you land in the era of the Reign of Terror? What would you do then?
Oh my gosh, I would push the button to move forward a few hundred years and get out from there. Because hopefully the time machine wouldn't stop working with just like one visit. I'm hoping that, you know, there's enough juice in there for me to come back.
Otherwise, we'll have the honor or we'll have the privilege to see guillotines. Well, I
Yeah,
really want to.
no, I mean, honestly, if that's the case, if there's no way to get back, if it's like a one-time shot, then yeah, no, the future, absolutely, no. It would
What
be
if the
too
future has?
terrifying to stay in the past. I mean, no technology. What if I mean, there's so many things that could go wrong if you're not able to come back. You know, it's like you land in the wrong country and, you know, you could be a slave. There's like so many things that could go wrong. So yeah, no, if that's the case, the future it is.
But okay, now there's so many books where we see the world has ended, a dark era has started. What if that's the future?
Oh my gosh, why are you making it so gloomy? In
I'm
that
sorry.
case, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. I'll pass on the machine to somebody else that's a little bit more daring that wants to use it.
If I were you, I'd probably stay to the past. Like, what the worst that could have happened to me? I'd probably be guillotined or killed by a sword. But in the future, I could be, I don't know, I could be killed by a gun, and there will be so many torture machines.
Yeah, but still, like in the past, I mean, if you read to like those gory books about the past, like the guillotines were not always sharp. So sometimes, you know, it's like they had to bring it down a few times. Yeah, no, thank you. That would be way too painful for me. Uh-uh.
I think I'd rather stay in the present.
Yes, absolutely. I am with you there.
My next question. If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
In just 3 words. Uh, hmm. Well, I am a mother, so, and I love being a mother. I cannot picture myself without my kids. Um, entrepreneur. As I mentioned before, I have a business, so I love the flexibility that comes from, being my own boss and owning my own schedule. Otherwise, I would never have time to write or read the stories that I love. And then I would say driven because I have my goals, and whether I meet them in a day or 10, it doesn't matter. I'll get to them. So, yeah.
That's nice. Okay, as we approach the end of this chat, any message you would like to give to your readers?
Honestly, I'm just thankful. I started writing 6 years ago, and I have like a group of readers that they've stuck with me. And every time a book comes out, it's like they're so happy to just pick it up and read it and give me their feedback, and always, just like supporting me and whatnot. So I'm just thankful. And for those that, are planning on reading my books for the first time, whenever I write a series, I always offer the first book for free. I think as a reader, a lot of the authors that I ended up buying more books from, honestly, were the ones that were offering book one for free, because nothing can go wrong, right, with you reading a book that's free. And then you can tell if you like the story, if you like the way they write, and then you naturally want to know what's going to happen next. So you just go ahead and pick up the other books that way. So I do the same.
True.
So if any of your listeners, if they haven't read my stories yet, absolutely go and pick them up.
I can picture so many of my friends watching this or listening to this they haven't have read your books, because I don't think most of my friends are not book lovers. Do you have someone, who you like books and that person doesn't like books? What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always shocked when that happens. And I always tell them, like, okay, how about an audiobook in that case? Like, we all listen to music, we all listen to things. So I think in that case, like, audiobooks would be a perfect fit for people like that.
My friends are totally hopeless then, because they don't ever heed any bidding. They don't listen to me. So I'm just kind of depressed sometimes, because they're like, I'm not listening to advices. And that's one of the biggest reasons I opened this channel, because I could actually talk about books. People around me are just like, books are so boring, start watching movies. And that's so frustrating.
Yes. I mean, movies are great. I think you need diversity, right? You can't just focus on one thing, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Oh, I don't watch movies. I hardly watch movies. So people have started to wonder if I'm uncool. Well, they don't wonder. They have tagged me, Miss Boring, and that's so weird. And that's what my friends call me.
Oh, no, not at all. I think it's a matter of preference, right? I mean,
yeah.
At my house, as strange as it sounds, we pretty much go days without turning on the TV, to be honest with you, because we're always doing other stuff. So I completely get where you're coming from. Like, whenever I find like a show, right, that my friends recommend, I'm kidding you not, it always takes me days just to finish one episode, because I never have time to just sit and watch 45 minutes of a show in one go. So it's difficult when you have lots of things that you need to do.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you so much, Krystal, for being here. It means the world to me that I got the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you so much for giving me the honor. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for reaching out and for chatting with me.
Oh, it's an honor. Thank you.
Take care.
You too.